to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Around Kansas looks at rain, an important topic considering the recent drought. Although rainmakers have been immortalized on film and in song, we're going to learn about real-life rainmakers who worked in Kansas over the years. Then enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with the Walnut Valley Festival in Winfield and see why it's grown into a 5-day event. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Good morning. Welcome to Around Kansas here at the busy Dillon House this morning. You got chatter in the background because, by golly, people are using the space, which is exactly what it was intended for. So we're thrilled to be part of it.
Yeah. How does it feel being the tall person today?
I like it. I think
We're on the stairway here.
I think I'll carry a step around with me everywhere I go. And It's working out real well.
Good grief, this year is getting away from us, so oh my.
You know what? I wrote something, a check or something the other day, and I not only messed up the month entirely because it's September, who knew? I wrote 2005, so it's like I just skipped a whole decade, you know. It's like, oh well. Time flies.
Wishful thinking?
Wishful thinking, yeah.
Okay, so what have you been up to?
Well, just going everywhere, and I was out in Colorado, actually. Going to share some images with folks. You know, people, not to be anti-Kansas or anything, but Kansas used to include Colorado up to the Continental Divide. So Denver was in the Kansas territory until political disputes decided we don't want those people out there voting. That's exactly what happened, and that's why we got rid of them, and we've been ruining that ever since. So every now and then we had to just go out and build the bonds, you know, just reclaim the territory.
Colorado, go away. And oh, by the way, we have gold.
Yeah, exactly. How smart was that? One of the long line of political decisions that have not been so smart over the years.
Oh, okay. So
That's another program. That's
another program. Yeah.
Yeah, next week on 60 Minutes. Yeah, there we go.
So, all right, are you ready to show this to folks? Your grass and grain?
Our grass and grain column. And here we are, Frank and I, immortalized, right there, grass and grain column. So watch for that every week. And right across the fold from our good friend Jim Gray out of Ellsworth. So we were real tickled about that. So in the column, we'll talk about all the adventures Frank and I are having, reporting on things around Kansas, and just whatever I happen to think about that day. Okay, so one more thing that is going on this month. Wichita is hosting the Mountain Plains Museum Association meeting. So you've got, I believe it's 10 states included in that association, and some incredible sites. And so we're going to be going down and visiting the folks from museums all over the region down in Wichita. The folks that are coming to the conference down in Wichita get to go to all those great museums in the city of Wichita. Wichita gets a chance to show off. And they've got some incredibly cool places down there. There's, you know, Old Cowtown, the World Treasures Museum, their Discovery Center.
Well, the riverfront itself.
The riverfront itself, they've developed it, and it's so pretty. And there's just so much. You know, Heather and I were down a few months ago, and we had a meeting, but we had a chance to just ride through Old Town. We had lunch in Old Town. And then we just rode around and saw some of the sites, a lot of which she'd never gotten to see because she's always going on business. And you go, like most of us, you go straight to wherever your meeting is, and then you don't have time. But when you can, take the time to stop and look around and see what else is there to enjoy and to take your family back to at some point.
Yeah, so she still has her grass and grain. We'll be back.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Well, here we are again. Hey, you know, it's rained a lot this year.
We have had an incredible amount of rain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, some places like California are still in drought, but Kansas has had some interesting stories about rain and rainmaking and all of that.
You know, Kansas, this year when I was out west, they said they had, I think, as much rain in 1 month as they'd had in the years 2012, 2013. So drought is that's a really big deal. And when the rain comes, as farmers and ranchers well know, makes a big difference in what kind of crop you're going to get or what conditions you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So
well, of course,
deal.
we had the Dust Bowl back in the 30s, but we know that a lot of that was due to the fact that the farmers overplanted,
Right.
and they cut down a lot of whatever trees were out there. And then the drought came and everything blew away.
And they believed, what was that old saying, the rain will follow the plow?
Yeah.
Didn't exactly happen.
Yeah.
But you got a great story about that phenomenon.
Yes. In fact, we're going to have 2 segments because it really is interesting. So let's take a look. Kansas has experienced some record rainfalls this year, relieving the drought many areas had experienced. Those hot, dry spells are no stranger to Kansas, even today. And rather than just complain, folks thought they would do something about it. They hired rainmakers. Burt Lancaster immortalized the profession with the character of Bill Starbuck in the 1956 movie The Rainmaker. Starbuck, full of promises and knack for wooing the ladies, breezes into a drought-stricken small Kansas town and convinces most of the folks he can make it rain. In the end, he even wins over the skeptical Lizzie. Decades later, the scenario inspired the song Lizzie and the Rain Man, a hit for Tanya Tucker. Well, let's return to the archives of the Kansas State Historical Society for the story of a real rain man, Melbourne the Wizard. Rainmaking captured the imaginations of many late 19th century Kansans convinced that nature could be conquered. Years before Melbourne came to the state, experts claimed large fires or explosions could produce rain. Some believed gases released into the air caused an atmospheric effect that made rain. By 1890, many people accepted rainmaking as a possibility, if not an actual science. Melbourne was one of the earliest rainmakers to raise the hopes of western Kansas farmers battling severe drought in the early 1890s. For several days, rainmaking gases rose from his shed in Goodland. A gale from the southwest drove the vapors to the northeast, where heavy rains reportedly fell. Goodland eventually experienced a light shower, but not enough to justify Melbourne's $500 fee, and the rain wizard departed unpaid. Despite Melbourne's failure to create a good rain, Goodland residents considered his efforts a success. Enterprising locals established 3 rainmaking companies that were active for many years all over Kansas. The Interstate Artificial Rain Company claimed to have purchased Melbourne's secret. Its rainmaking squads traveled throughout the region. The first good rain in 6 weeks followed one visit to Oklahoma City, and one company official wrote to another, "I tell you, Marv, we've got the world by the horns with a downhill pull and can all wear diamonds pretty soon. we can water all creation and have some to spare. Rainmaking. We'll talk some more about the Rainmakers when we come back.
From the Land of Kansas is a trademark program that helps Kansas businesses grow, produce, process, or manufacture Kansas products. Let's meet Comforts of Home, a small retail, antique, and fine home furnishing store located at 111 East Main in Chanute. Add a rustic feel to your home with hand-painted wooden decorative items. Display your favorite photos in new or antique frames. Decorate your home with beautiful ceramic vases, candlesticks, and fun drink coasters, or fill it with lovely restored antique furniture. Come shop for one-of-a-kind vintage-style clothing, scarves, purses, and hats while you browse through an eclectic collection of jewelry, or plan a spa day at home using calming soaps and lotions. For all kinds of gifts for your friends or for yourself, be sure to visit Comforts of Home in person or like them on Facebook.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan here, and I'm inviting you to come to the McCain Auditorium on October 12th to be a part of the Henry C. Gardner Global Food Systems Lecture Series, and the featured speaker will be Greg Page. He's going to discuss climate change and agriculture. When you think of climate change and the impact that agriculture may have on it, everybody involved with agriculture needs to be there. I hope that you can attend. We'll see you on the Kansas State campus. Again, that's October 12th, McCain Auditorium, and I'll see you down the road.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com. And we're back again.
Okay,
Rain,
Frank,
rain, rain.
that's really cool. That's some really cool stuff. And of course, my favorite piece of what you just did is maybe the Tanya Tucker song, Lizzie and the Gray Man. I loved that song.
Yeah.
And the fact that this guy, this writer, watched that old movie, which you and I love a lot, the old Burt Lancaster movie, and then he was inspired to write that song. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Art inspiring art, life inspiring art inspiring life, all those good.
Yeah,
good
only
things.
Burt Lancaster could have played that part.
Yeah, really.
That's all,
Yeah,
all there is to it.
He had the panache or the whatever to pull that off.
In fact, we didn't really get done with that story. So let's talk about, what happens now today in real time. One of the more popular Kansas rainmakers was C.B. Jewell, chief train dispatcher for the Rock Island at Goodland. Jewell also claimed to know Melbourne's secret. His employers were so confident in his abilities that they furnished him with everything necessary to conduct rainmaking experiments. Unlike Goodland's companies, Jewell didn't charge for his services, nor did he keep his methods a secret. He used gases, jars, batteries to establish electrical communication with the clouds, and sometimes dynamite and exploding rockets. He claimed volatile gases charged with electricity chilled the atmosphere and caused condensation to form. His 4 generators produced 1,500 gallons of rainmaking gas per hour. Like those of the rainmaking companies, Jewell's experience met with varying degrees of success. In June 1893, he failed to produce rain at Dodge City, but took credit for rainfall at Meade, claiming wind carried the chemicals there. At Phillipsburg, later the same month, his work was followed by near-flood conditions. The town's newspaper editor wrote, "If this wetting is due to Mr. Jewell, give him credit for it. And if it isn't costing anybody a cent, so let's don't hear any loud words about it." By the end of 1894, the enthusiasm for rainmaking was replaced by one for irrigation. A brief revival of interest occurred in the 1950s in parts of western Kansas, but it wasn't until the mid-1970s that the state again saw organized efforts at controlling weather. A variation of rainmaking was tried in western Kansas in 1975 when the Western Kansas Weather Modification Program began operating. Its main objective is to minimize hail damage to crops using chemical crystals that reduce hail formation. The chemicals are fired from a small airplane into the updraft of storm clouds. The Kansas Water Office estimates that hail damage decreased by 27% in participating counties. The program also targets rainfall increases as an objective. Although these results have not been closely studied, one test location reports an 11% increase in rainfall. Rainmakers around Kansas.
We started farming in 1970. It was harder work then than it is now, a lot more physical work and the wear and tear on my knees and my body. Now here I'm 70 years old. I started having knee pain here 4 or 5 years ago, and so I was looking for a stem cell clinic, and lo and behold, my good friend John Farley and Ken Wood, who'd been customers and friends for a number of years, opened their clinic, and in about 2 months my heel was a lot better, and then at the end of 3 months and then going on 4, my knee started making significant improvement, and it's sure been a blessing, because before I had the stem cells, I'd be driving a tractor, and if I sat in a tractor for 2 or 3 hours, when I got out I'd have to stop and get the kinks out of my knee and shake it, and today that's not a problem.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Farming is a gamble. A farmer puts a crop into the ground, a rancher raises a calf, not knowing what kind of weather conditions, market conditions, or other factors could affect it in the end. So farming is a gamble, just like Las Vegas. This is a poem I wrote titled, Gambling Man. Did you hear about the guy who went on an amazing trip and hit it rich, winning money at an amazing clip? I hear stories of those high-rolling gambling bigwigs who roll the dice in Vegas and really hit it big. But I'm way too conservative or risk-averse, they say, to take a chance on losing all my money in this way. Yet maybe the biggest gamblers aren't in Vegas after all, but rather in the country at agriculture's call. That's where a farmer takes the gamble to plant a crop of wheat, never knowing if it will survive the drought or freeze or heat. And just as Lady Luck can snatch a gambler's money when they win it, a hailstorm can claim a Kansas wheat crop in a minute. A mother cow takes a year to breed and feed and thrive, but that whole year income's lost if the baby calf does not survive. The market shows the farmer the value of his crops, but it's a gamble to sell before the market drops. So maybe the biggest gamblers aren't the ones with Vegas claims, but rather the farmers and ranchers out here on the Kansas plains. I think I'll take the risks I know with crops and with cattle, instead of trying to beat casino odds in some Las Vegas battle. Did you hear about my friend whose Vegas trip caused such a fuss? He drove there in a $20,000 car and came back in a $100,000 bus. Happy trails.
Hey, it's Dr. Dan here, inviting you to Animal Science and Industries Family and Friends Reunion.
Whether you're an alumnus, a family member, or a friend like myself, I would encourage you to attend the Family and Friends Reunion on October 9th as a way to network, connect, or reconnect with friends of yours in your segment of the livestock industry.
K-State has many traditions. Agriculture and football are at the top of the list. So I'll see you in Manhattan, Kansas on October 9th for the Animal Science and Industries Family and Friends Reunion.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Rain, 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 rain. So we hope it doesn't rain out a festival.
Oh, I know. Walnut Valley has had some challenges with rain in the past, but you know what? It has never dampened the spirits of the folks who go to the Walnut Valley Festival at Winfield. 15,000 people.
Wow.
Go to Walnut Valley every year to hear some amazing music, to make some amazing music. And I did some interviews a few years ago with, just recorded interviews, audio with Pat Flynn and Brian Bowers and Mike Cross and Dan Crary, legendary Dan Crary, who will be there again this year. And he was inducted into the Kansas Music Hall of Fame earlier this year. And Kansas City Boy, who is an amazing guitar player. It is like one big family. It truly is. The Winfield experience is just like nothing else I've ever known.
Yeah.
So, starts today. I'm headed down.
Yeah. Well, when people say, what do you do in Kansas? Well, this is just one little thing that goes on in this state.
One little really big thing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
The Walnut Valley Association was formed in 1972 to produce the Walnut Valley National Guitar Flat Picking Championships Festival. Now known as the Walnut Valley Festival. Most folks just say, I'm going to Winfield. 2 days was not enough to contain the Winfield experience, so it now spans 5 days, anchored by the third weekend of September. The festival features performances on 4 stages simultaneously, a large juried arts and crafts fair, workshops, and acoustic instrument contest. It boasts over 30 acts and 8 contests, including the National Flat Pick Championships and the International Fingerstyle Championships. Over the course of years, the contests at Winfield have attracted more than 3,000 contestants from all 50 states as well as foreign countries, including Australia, Canada, Denmark, Sweden, England, Germany, Italy, Japan, New Caledonia, Switzerland, and Wales. Well-known Winfield winners include Mark O'Connor of Nashville, who has won or placed in more Walnut Valley festivals than any other contestant. He returns to perform with his family this year. Alison Krauss won the Walnut Valley Fiddle Championship in 1984. Other winners include mandolin virtuoso Chris Thile and Dixie chick fiddler Martie Erwin Seidel. Former Kansas Secretary of State Chris Biggs placed third in the guitar competition for 3 straight years, no little accomplishment. Nearly 15,000 people make the pilgrimage to Winfield each year, and most of them play an instrument. Lots of family reunions happen there, as many weddings have taken place at the festival. The Walnut Valley Festival has always been a place to make new friends and renew old acquaintances.
Well, by golly, we survived another Wednesday.
Are we done already?
I guess we are.
Good grief. Well, okay, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere
around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy.